All right, so what a great appointment. Wah, wah, wah. 2 hours later. No, not really. Oh, it was 2 hours later. No, hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. Anyway, so back to our story. We got through the first part. We went our separate ways. Life happened, kids happened, marriages happened, some not, in different orders, of course. And then the next part of our story happened. In 2012, took my daughter to the mall so she could hang out with her friends. And I decided to stay because, you know, we lived in Lawrenceville. I didn't feel like driving back to get her. So I decided to stay. I was sitting in the mall, had my back turned, and I heard somebody's voice walking behind me. And I turned around and I was like, Serena, which is Chris's sister. Of course, they call her Angel, but I always called her Serena.
We don't call her Angel. Her name is Angel.
Well, her name is Angel, but when she was in school, she had an identity crisis of some sort. I don't know. She wanted everybody to call her Serena. So that's what I knew her as from school on. So, yeah, it just so happened I just heard her voice and I knew it was her. And I hadn't, you know, talked to her or seen her in 17 years. So that was, well, you know, I'm really good at that kind of stuff anyway. But anyway, so yeah, we stopped, we talked. She was like, hey, yeah, I'm meeting my sisters up here. We're going to the movie. I'm like, sisters? I didn't know y'all had other sisters, you know. And I asked her, I said, well, you know, how are your brothers doing? And again, like I said earlier, I couldn't differentiate who was who, especially when she was talking. I just heard her say one's wife died and one's about to get married. So that's the update I got on the 2 brothers. I was like, oh man, that's sad. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's good. I didn't know how to react. So her other sisters came. I saw Tina, knew Tina. So and then I met Carmina and Sabrina, and it was like they were going to the movies. So they asked if I wanted to come. So I went to the movies with them, hung out. We exchanged Facebook page information and all that. And, you know, I went about my business. And that was in September 2012. And lo and behold, you know, how you are on Facebook, you're scrolling through, looking at people's feeds and stuff. And I guess this is December 2012. It was a picture, a big family picture. It was like 20 people in this picture that Angel was tagged in, and I saw the picture and I recognized Chris in the picture. So it was one of those things, like I couldn't tell you who was who, but when I saw his picture I knew that was Chris. So I was like, I think I said, look at Chris, he's all grown up or something like that, to that effect. And that's where I left it. I was like, oh, look at Chris, he all grown up. And then I went about my business, and then this guy was like, who is this? No, I'm sorry, he didn't say who is this. He replied, charity, question mark, and was like, oh, we're gonna have to talk outside of here or whatever. So I think we DM'd each other, whatever, and started talking, and that was like December 22nd. I believe we talked like 4 or 5 hours and just got caught up on each other's lives, what was going on in each other's life. Come to find out he was the brother that had the wife that died. So that was that. So we talked and talked and talked. It was the 22nd. He was like, my family have a big thing on Christmas Eve. Do you want to come? You bring the kids? I was like, sure. I just have a photo shoot that I have to do prior to that. And I think I said, no, I think he just asked if I wanted to come. I told him I had a photo shoot that my kids were going to be with me. So he was like, bring the kids. It was a family thing, kind of last minute, buy a gift. All the stores was closed when I thought about it, but I still got something anyway and brought it. And that's how this whole thing started. Really, it was just supposed to be a friendship for me. So I don't know what your
yeah, that's supposed to be a friendship for me too.
So I don't know what your side of it, what happened on your end.
I don't have no end. What you talking about? I need to get some cigarettes. That's my end. So maybe it can extend the conversation. There you go. Well, my end of the story. I'm driving. That's my end of the story. I'm driving.
This is our life. We drive all the time.
I don't know. I think my end of the story is that
how do we get to the charity question mark?
Maybe I was tagged in it and whatever, and I was like, I seen that person say, you know, the Chris all grown up, and so I looked at it and it was just some eyes or whatever, and I was like, who is this?
Some eyes that was my Facebook picture on Facebook. It wasn't my face, it was just one eye.
So I'm scrolling through her pictures on her Facebook, and I'm seeing, you know, random people, and I'm thinking that they're like some stalker chicks, from the past or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope this is not so and so and so and so. And they're not. And so, because just based off of her picture, she had some ratchet pictures up there. I'm sorry. I was like, and not
it was
of her.
Not of me. Just
it was not of her. Just some ratchet looking chicks that she hang out with, I guess. So whatever. Sorry, you look ratchet. If it's you, it's you. But anyway, at the time, so I scrolled through it and everything, and found a picture and it looked like Charity. I was like, man, is that? Because I've been every time I come into Atlanta, every time I got out of a relationship, I was looking her up. Purple, whatever. All I remember is her name and Charity. I didn't remember her last name. So, but anyway, she looked familiar, and I was like, "Is that Charity? That looked like Charity." Because of course, I remember I used to have a crush on her, so there was no secret there. And anyway, she said it was her, and then I was talking to her. I catch up on pictures. I'm a very visual person, so I mean, I can look at your pictures and whatever. I can look at your pictures and kind of live through your life, So, like I said, I looked at her pictures of her little husband, and everything, stuff like that, her life, and I was like, oh man, looked like y'all was happy. She's like, they were at some point in time, and some point in time they weren't. So, anyways, got those conversations out there and find out she was actually single, and that was really surprising, because she's a beautiful person, a beautiful woman, physically and mentally. So, yeah, that was something I was like, bump that, I'm going this way, buddy. It was like something I'm like, well, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go where. See if I can, saying? Keep that Mac game strong. Like, what up, shout out what you doing over there? Get over here, gig.
Generally, it was one of those things I just really solidified that me and my ex-husband was never going to be together again. Just a few months back, really right before I ran into his sister at the mall, that was solidified probably in July or August or whatever. So I was on the path where, you know what, I'm going to just live my life. I wasn't going to search for any relationships and rush into anything. And like they said, if you want to hear God laugh, just tell him your plans. So that was my plan, and I did try to stick with it. When I told Chris, I was like, oh yeah, I think we should just be friends, and not really, again, he had a spouse that died 6 months prior to us running into each other, and he has 4 kids. 2 of his kids were his previous wife and her previous husband's kids, where he came into the picture. I guess they're about 4 or 5 years old when he came into the picture, and their dad died, I think, a year into Chris's marriage with her. So he became dad to them for the majority of their childhood and upbringing. And then they had 2 children together. So that whole dynamic was a little, kind of scattered, because when mom died, that means 2 of the kids were without both of their biological parents, and when 2 of the kids were without their mom. And everybody, mom is the heartbeat of the family. So it was tough on everybody, and I believe it was tough on Chris, and he just kind of dealt with it differently. I think he tried to avoid the fact that it bothered, that he was grieving, and so I don't think the kids knew how to grieve either. So it was tough situation to get into. But people that know me, I love people, and I love to try to help where I can. So when we came into the picture, that was a big thing. It's like, we have these kids, you have your kids, I have my kids. At the time, Danny, Divine's friend, my daughter's friend, she was staying with us. My cousin was with me with her 2 kids. So it was like a lot going on between both of our families. And, I did try, again, I tried for a couple of weeks, say, hey, yeah, we're just friends, It was a situation where you have to say, let's see where this goes. So we had like a whole month, no sexual anything, for like a month, to kind of get to know each other and see if we were those same 2 people that we were when we were 17 and 18 years old. So again, that was I was just updating them on your background with your kids and what happened and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so it was one of those, didn't want to rush into anything because I didn't know if it was a good thing or not. So, but yeah, so we did, I think January, that was like January beginning. Oh yeah, cause I fast every January, so that was the start of that. So January, he kind of did the whole, I guess, sexual fast part with me. I can't remember if you did the food fast with me or not. I can't remember.
No.
Yeah, so we did that, and who was that? Anywho, so yeah, so the month of January, we spent a lot of time. we sit in the room, feet up on the wall. We did 21 questions. Was it 21 questions? Yeah, we asked each other questions, and there's questions could be about anything. So we did spend a lot of time talking to one another. Of course, it was little things that I didn't like about him and little things he didn't like about me. Me, mainly the cigarettes.
Yeah, she need to quit smoking. She smoked way too